Hi, my name is Calvin Johnson. In this video, I'll be discussing about TeamViewer version 14. So TeamViewer they've come a long way from I think TeamViewer 8 or TeamViewer 7. So once in a while or some I think periodically they always update their version. So think that was last year I did a video on TeamViewer 12 because I was using TeamViewer 12 in my company. So I think maybe it's a good idea to share my experience online. So right now we've switched from TeamViewer 12 to TeamViewer 14. So here, if I go to help and just click about TeamViewer, as you can see, I'm using TeamViewer version 14. The date, which is the date April, which was the TeamViewer was updated, and there's my TeamViewer ID. So here is a free license. So what in my company, I use TeamViewer almost every day because I work for a company which has location all over the world. I think we're in China, in Shanghai, in Beijing, and we're also in Mexico, in Atlanta, in Johannesburg, that's in South Africa, and Durban. We're also in I'm doing this video from Belgium, so we have a location here in Belgium, and also we have in Spain, Italy, in Dubai, and my company is spread about all over the world. So I use TeamViewer on a very regular basis, every single day to actually remotely control computers and assist user to do some troubleshooting and software installation, just name it. So first of all, here you can see I've already signed in to TeamViewer, and I'm using the free license. It's non commercial use. Here I've already signed in because I signed into different computers with my name, and I can decide to as well sign out. So if you log on to TeamViewer 14 even without signing on, here you get this interface. It looks very different from version 12. So here we have the first one. The first option which we have is remote control. So with remote control, it actually gives me the access to actually control a computer. So I can just type my partner ID and just click connect and ask the other user to give me his password, and I will be able to connect to the computer anywhere in the world. So here you can see I have my ID and my password. So of course you are seeing my password right now, but of course I can always just create a new random password, so the password will be changed. So before the end of the video or after the end of the video, I'm going to change my password, and I'm going to actually delete TeamViewer from this computer because I don't use TeamViewer on this computer. So I just actually install TeamViewer just to do on this computer to do this video. So I have all our computers which I'm using TeamViewer on. So here we have unattended access. I can decide to start TeamViewer with Windows. So if I remove this, it's going to, do you really want to disable start TeamViewer with Windows? Cancel. So what happens is this: if, for example, you control a computer remotely and the computer is like on standby, and you want, even if the computer restarts, that you should be able to control that computer, you should leave this on so that you'll be able to control the computer. So you can grant easy access. You can grant, so maybe for example, you can see I'm logged onto this computer with my email address, so I can decide to use a different email address and a password to actually sign in and take over this computer and control this computer. Here we have now if I decide to connect to a user's computer, we have the partner ID. I'm going to ask the other partner to give me his ID. I'm going to do a remote control, or I can decide to choose file transfer. So if we go to remote management, here remote management, you have the possibilities to actually monitor and do some other monitor and manage different computers. If, for example, in my company or in my enterprise environment, I have the monitoring and asset management. So here I have a lot of computers, which of course I can see and monitor, and I can see what is the status of the computer. But for the endpoint protection, we actually don't use that because my company has an antivirus. We're using Symantec in my company, so for that the endpoint protection we don't use that. And also for the backup, I've already configure this for this training, but for the backup, we also don't use that. But here, if for example you want to monitor your computers, you can actually check which computers has an endpoint protection, which one does not is not well is not protected with any antivirus system. You can also check if, for example, you want to back up some files, and you can see which ones have backup failure, which one is attention, which computers backup was already completed. So, so we have meeting. So here I can we can actually schedule some meeting. I can do a presentation. I can as well do a video call. I can as well or do a phone call. Well, mind you, if you're doing a phone call, you see it's going to say, okay, your conference call number is, is going to give me a number. Well, they're going to charge me for making this call because it's not free. And here's my conference pin. So when I decide to set up a conference call, I can decide to use my phone number to dial in, if, for example, to dial into that call, and I'll be asked to enter my conference call. But mind you, this is not free. It's going to cost me about 18 euro cents per minute. So here I have a meeting ID. I just change the number to it, and here's my name. I can schedule a meeting. I can say I want to schedule a new meeting. Let me just call this a conference call, and schedule is for tomorrow, and for the time should be like 10 a.m. in the morning, and there's just 30 minutes call. The time is Brussels is good, and I can save this to reuse it later. You can as well configure. Let me just save this, and here you see when I click my meeting, you can see that I have a conference call which has already been scheduled. I can decide to use invite someone with my call, and here you see the meeting ID. So now I can open as an email and send this meeting to someone. So the person will receive an email automatically. The person will just click on the link below. There's this link to join the meeting, and the person will be asked to enter his ID, and there is the ID to join the meeting. So we also have the computers and contact. So I think for me this is very, very important. Here I've created actually some groups just for the presentation. Well, is to create a what I actually do in my company. I have different groups. So I created like different groups for different land. For example, for China, I even created two, like Beijing and Shanghai. I created for Spain. I created for like Johannesburg, that's in South Africa, Durban in Atlanta and Mexico. So when you need to create a new group, you just click on this sign here, add to a computer and contact list. When you click it, you have different options. So you can add this computer, add remote computer, add contacts, or add new group. So what I actually do is I just add new group, and you can click advanced. Let me just say this is for computers in Spain. So you can say remote resolution. You can as well just configure the remote resolution to say inherit, or for example the windows you can put for like full screen or maximize. And so you can actually play with these things and just click OK, and here you see the group has already been created. So it's more easy actually creating different groups and then moving the users to like different groups. So if, for example, a user called me and says that I have a problem with his, he has a problem or she has a problem with his computer, so I already know which location the user is. So what I just need to do is to go to that location. I just, for example, go and just check. For example, here is Belgium. I have just one user, so I can just check where the location of the user is. Then I just connect to the user. So I think creating groups actually is more easy, and you also have the option. For example, I have the option to actually do some modifications. So because if you are creating a group, adding a computer to the group, you also have to do some. If I click properties, here you see there is the TeamViewer ID, and I can decide you can actually assign a password to this, but mind you, you would have already created a password on that computer, And here you have the alias just to kind of assign and link the TeamViewer ID to the user's name. Here you can see I'm seeing just the user's name, and here we can also add some description to it. I can as well move this user now, for example, to a different location, to like China. So we have the advanced option which I've already shown before. So you can also play with these settings and just choose which is actually best for you. So if I click OK, right now you see that this computer has been moved to China. So actually, it's you can also do the same for like you can add a remote computer. So if you know the TeamViewer ID of that computer, you can just add it to the add the TeamViewer ID, add an alias, choose a group which you want to add this computer to, and then just click OK. So here we have the chat. So with the chat, we can decide to just start a new chat conversation. First of all, it says to do you want to chat with? I want to chat with Nora. So just click Nora, and then you can begin to chat with Nora if she's online. Well, right now we have some other options which I would like to show you. If I go to extras and I have options, which I think is the most basic or the most configuration of TeamViewer. Here, if I click option, as you can see, we have a lot of options which we can actually configure and change some settings here just to suit what we really want. So on a general, here I have the display name of the computer I'm using. So I can decide to choose, say, start TeamViewer with Windows, which you can as well put it off and just put it on here. And right now I'm using the light theme of TeamViewer. I can decide to go for the dark. So if I click OK, now you see my TeamViewer is using a different theme. So let me go back to option. And so if your company is using a network a proxy settings, here under network settings you can actually configure the proxy of your company. But right now I'm not using any proxy configuration. So account assignment, I can assign just like what I showed before. I can decide to use a different account to connect to this computer. So that's security. I've already configured a password, a standard password for this computer. So we can actually decide to give, for example, I can remotely connect to this computer, and if it asks me for a password, I just put in my password. I will be able to connect to this computer without without the user actually giving me a password. But if you are connected to someone's computer, it's not advisable to configure a password on that person's computer. So allow the person to give you his ID and password. So we can decide to say, okay, what kind of password strength do we want? Say we have like the six secure, we have the six also secure 8 characters, very secure 10 characters. So we can actually configure this. So here we have the rules for connection to this computer. Okay, Windows logon allow for administrators only. So what happens is this: for allow for administrators only means that someone can remotely connect to your computer as an administrator. So for example, I work in an enterprise environment. I want to connect to someone's computer. I can decide to connect to that person's computer if the person belongs to the same domain or to the same enterprise of the computer I'm using. So I can connect to that person's computer and just okay, let me just show you an example. If for example I decided to connect let me see, to this computer right now, I double click it, so it's trying to connect. Well, let me just click OK. So I have the advanced option here. I can decide to choose Windows, and you see when I click Windows, it's asking me for the domain and user's name. So if for example I know the domain and this computer also belongs to I know the domain of the user, so I can just tap where is it, less dot then black slash, then type the user's name, which for example is K Johnson, and then type your password. Then you'll be able to connect to the computer. But if is not this option is not configured, allow for administrator only is not allowed, you will not be able to connect to that computer. Okay, so I would not recommend allow for all users. You just know if you know that like an IT help desk or an IT administrator used to connect to your computer, you can as well actually configure allows for administrators only, so you can be able to connect to a domain environment. So on a black and white list, I can decide to configure and add some computers which are some ID which I believe they should not be able to connect to this computer. I can just add it um, to my blacklist, so they will be denied access to my computer. So let's go to remote control. So on the remote control, we have some options which we can play with. We have, for example, the display. How do we want the quality of our display to look like? We can as well remove remote wallpaper when we connect, and also the remote control defaults. So here we have some default configuration. We can decide to just say, okay, start recording of remote control session automatically. So if I click this, anytime I connect to a computer, the recording will start automatically. So, but you don't want that because you will need the permission of someone to record maybe the session when you're trying to connect to someone's computer. So you may require their permission to record that session. So probably not everyone will allow that. Maybe they have some um, documents open which are very secret to the company and they will not allow such things. Here we have the meeting configuration, so we can actually play with it and say, okay, how do we want password for instance meeting? Okay, auto start screen sharing, share computer sounds and music, so you can share a lot of things with the computers. We also meeting default, so we say, oh, is this full interaction, minimal interaction, or custom settings? I can decide to just allow what should the person be able to do with on my computer if they connect to my computer, or what they should not be able to do. So here we have computers and contact. Here I've actually configured my information, so it's more easy for me to actually access this computer from anywhere. So I can also as well configure manage two-factor authentication. So if I click that, it's going to take me to a browser, but this will be for a different video because if not, the video is going to take a very, very long time. And also here I'm using is free license. It's an activated license. Well, it's a non-commercial use, just for private use only. So we also have the option to configure our audio conferencing. Right now, as you can, when I speak, you can see the signals um, ch- just waving. So I'm using the default communication device. But right now I'm connected to my Jabra UC voice, but it's saying it's using the default communication, which of course is my USB device, which is connected to this computer. Also for the microphone, it's as well. It's the same. For the video, I don't have any webcam on this computer, so there is no option here to display. So if there's a webcam on this computer, and here you see the video source, which of course is going to display which webcam it is and the quality. So on a custom invitation, we can as well decide to make a customize our invitation and send it to a user. You can email the placeholder, you can test the invitation, or you can reset. So if I reset it, will come back to the default what TeamViewer actually plays when this TeamViewer version is installed. So here I can actually create my own custom invitation. If you are working for a company, you can decide to put some of company information on this and then email this to the user as an invitation message. On the advanced, when you click advanced, you need to click show advanced options. On the show advanced options, right now the display language for the TeamViewer is if, for example, you are from Romania, you can choose Romana, or from other Turkey, you can always choose a different language, or like Espanol or Spanish or France. So you can also check for new version of TeamViewer. If you want, you can say, okay, let it be weekly, monthly, or you can say never check for new version. And also I can also install new version automatically. Well, you can also decide what should happen if there's a new version of TeamViewer. Also, when I close TeamViewer, is going to close to tray menu, and I want to go to system health check, use new users interface if there is a new version of TeamViewer. So for the access control, I put it to full access, and here when I connect to, or someone connect to this computer, it's going to give them the full access to this computer. So we can also decide to configure kind of a random password after each session. Well, you can decide to say, okay, anytime each session is complete, there's going to be a random or a new password or a kind of a different password than what is now configured on your TeamViewer screen. But we can also decide to say, okay, no, we just want the password to remain the same because I've already configured a password on this TeamViewer, so I don't want it to get changed. So here, I'm not going to go into details about everything here. So we have some other settings which we can actually manipulate and just play with and see how it goes. Also, for the advanced network settings, we have the TeamViewer server, install VPN driver. So we can actually decide to install some other drivers on this computer if you think maybe it will suit your own environment. Like for the TeamViewer server, if you have a server which only enters a specific TeamViewer server if asked, well, if you have a TeamViewer server, you can enter that and enter the password. For now, I don't have that, so I will not be able to enter this. So here I have the log files. You see everything I'm doing. A log files is being created, and also login, log out, going connections, log in, coming connections. So all the information have been saved to my computer. We can also have the more. We can also disable remote drag and drop integration, disable TeamViewer shutdown, or disable hardware acceleration. So well, these are options you can actually play with and just see what suits you and what you feel is good for you. But actually, I would advise not to start configure everything, and you may be surprised that TeamViewer may just stop working. Okay. So on the extras, we also have like play or convert a recorded session. So if you have recorded a session, maybe during a remote session, you've recorded one of the session, so you can decide to play or convert the session. So right now, I don't have any session to play or convert. Tell a friend. You can just when I click tell a friend, it's going to tell me to maybe open as email and send it to a friend and tell them about TeamViewer. And also, we also have the option of open log files. Let me just open log files and show you where the log file is saved. Here we have the log files are saved to this to the program file, and then TeamViewer. Here is the log files are saved. So if I go to extras again, here I have the option to activate license. If I click activate license, it may take me to the website to a browser to activate my license if I have bought one, but I don't have any license for this right now, so I'm just using a free version of TeamViewer. So we also have the opportunity to buy a license if we don't have one. So on the help, we have the options to know how TeamViewer works. If you want to give feedback, you can give a feedback. You can check for new version. I've already installed a new version of TeamViewer. So I think before I start this video, I'll show you about the TeamViewer version I'm using. So here we can just decide to give feedback and say, well, I'm happy with this or something bothers me. So you can give a comment and just send it to TeamViewer. So probably they may respond. I don't really know. So I've not tried it actually. So maybe they may respond. I can say, yes, I'm happy. And say, yeah, I'm happy with TeamViewer. TeamViewer. So let's just click send. So the message will be sent to TeamViewer. Well, I think I'm extremely, I love TeamViewer because I use it every day. I'm really satisfied with it. So the message, thank you for your feedback. I think the message has been sent. I really don't know if they are going to reply me. Probably they will. So, okay, now I've done just click feedback. So here we have, like for example, the connect. We have the opportunity to invite a partner, open users management, open design and deploy. open service queue. So this I'm going to do a second video on this. So if I click open users management, it's going to take me to a browser where I will log on, and then it's going to show me the management interface of how to like design and we'll design a quick join and things like that. But that would be for a different video. So right now we just this is just actually a video I just make on how to use TeamViewer because I use it every day at my work. So I think maybe it's a good idea to just create a video on how TeamViewer works. So please you can see it's a little bit late here in Belgium, so um, it's not easy creating such kind of videos sometime after you've worked. But if you think this video have been a great help to you, please don't forget to leave a comment or just give me some thumb, and I'll be very grateful, and it will encourage me to create more videos. And please, you can always send me an email, or if you have any comments, just send it to me and I'll reply to you as quick as possible. Thank you very much for watching my video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more IT related videos. Thank you and goodbye.